Record to the cloud.
Sorry, record on the cloud.
Yeah. Recording started.
Hello.
On the cloud. On the cloud, recording started.
All right, cool. Then you can start the session. You can share your screen and start the session.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Mukesh. So yesterday, what we have gone through, are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
There is any question from yesterday's session which you want
Yeah.
to ask?
If can we go? Uh, uh, can we talk about again a program in the curly brackets section?
Okay.
Public static void main string, and then we started curly brackets for writing any program. So can we go to the details? I was trying some program yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting some error. So
What kind of error you are getting?
uh,
Do you have any error syntax? What was the syntax it was saying? Syntax error or something else?
yeah, it was syntax error because line was marked as red. So
No, that is okay. If it is marked
uh,
with red, then there must be something it was indicating that you have to put this or that.
so I have not captured that screenshot, but
Okay.
I'll do.
Now, see, whatever you mistake,
Yeah.
whatever the mistake you do, let's say semicolon. If you miss semicolon, it gives you an error and says syntax error, insert semicolon to complete block statements. So it is very simple. Everything it is telling on the spot. So put a semicolon there, and the error is gone.
Why semicolon?
I'm
Uh,
telling you. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
See, whenever you write a sentence in English language or Hindi language, you complete your sentence by a full stop, right?
Yeah. Right.
So here also, these three different statements are being terminated with semicolon, right? These three,
Oh.
yeah,
So same. Same thing like we doing in SAS programming language. I mean,
exactly.
Terminator. Okay.
The statement terminator, basically, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So maybe I'm missing that. Part. Also, I was using concatenation. Uh, I was trying to write the same program,
Okay,
but I was hitting error because I don't have a screenshot, so I cannot
that
follow.
doesn't matter, but at least you should have a concept clear in your mind.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, okay. Let me tell you everything one by one again. Now, public class first Java project. Public is public accessibility of a particular class so that it can be accessed um, in the complete JVM by within the different packages and at different location. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So one question was related to package. Uh, I, I mean,
Yeah.
discuss. It is part of this session today.
What?
Uh, when we are going to discuss about the packages,
No,
right?
not today. Not today. Packages we are not going to talk about today
Okay.
because packages we want to elaborate, right? And if we talk about packages today, it will be a short discussion on the packages today.
Okay. All right.
So, what I'm telling you that whenever create a class that is created at some particular location, right? And from that particular location to other locations, if we want it to be accessible, it should have a public accessibility. Okay. Whenever
Okay.
you run your Java program, what happens, there is an instance of JVM created. Instance of JVM means uh, 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 a bucket, you can say, a container, you can say. On that container, your Java code is executing. And whatever the classes which are related to your Java code are, whatever the libraries, whatever the classes which you have created are on that particular JVM environment only, on that particular container only. So within that container, there are different locations. Within that container, there are different security concepts. So if you want yourself available to all other locations, you should make it public. Otherwise, it won't be available for others.
Yeah, accessible for everyone.
Yeah. So here, the class first Java project is accessible uh, publicly. When you are executing this uh, class, the Java interpreter will also be able to understand, okay, this is public accessibility. I can read that class comfortably and can further get into the relevant method of it. Now, second thing, it searches for the method or function or behavior. You can give any name to it. Uh, Conceptually, there are something different in when we talk about method, when we talk function, when we talk behavior or operation. Then it is some conceptually different, but the structure, the design, the process of implementation is same. So here we have a method named main. Main method means what? Main means main. We do not have any, we cannot have any other function through which
There is no
access.
audio. There is no audio.
Sorry.
When audio was not enabled.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah,
Hello.
yeah. So earlier there was not audio.
Uh,
Audio was disabled. Not sure how, but
uh,
yeah, I
Actually,
can.
what is happening, what is happening, from couple of days, there is a power problem is going on. So every time when power goes and comes, the Wi-Fi internet connectivity gets lost.
Okay, at least I can hear you.
Yeah. So in that case, whenever Wi-Fi internet connectivity goes, my desktop disconnects. Also, my mobile switches from Wi-Fi to this mobile internet.
Mobile network. Yeah,
So that's why it is slightly, problematic.
yeah, it's okay.
So I'm planning for it something. I'll make some arrangement for it, and we'll make sure that from the future classes it won't create problem. So it's my apologies for current sessions.
Now it's
But
okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's completely okay. Yeah.
does not necessarily have main function. We explicitly doesn't want every class to have a main function in it, because in our house, when we enter, what happens? We have only one main entry point in general, right? And then we have multiple rooms, and from multiple rooms we have multiple doors in washroom, kitchen, bedroom, drawing room. So those all different rooms have accessibility from the main door whenever you enter from the main door. So that is what the Java class and structure is basically. Java class has multiple functions, multiple implementations, and there is a main entry point from where you can invoke other classes. So once you enter into it, you can have accessibility for other classes using object creation, static accessibility. So you do not need to explicitly create different classes with main function. I can show you an example on this. Give me
Sorry to interrupt. Screen share is gone.
Right, I am sharing that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll make myself. Mine's mover is host now. Mukesh, today's session we are not going to have like a longer session because there are problems getting generated. So I'll wind up with all this discussion today.
Yeah, it's
Right.
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll share my screen. I'll show you what I wanted to tell you. Okay.
Yeah. I'm also traveling, so
Okay.
I'm on.
So
Yeah.
can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes, I can see.
Okay. So now I'm creating another class. Not in this particular, but I have created another class named demo. Okay. And a demo class with no main function. Public class demo with no main function. Now what I do is I'll write a function here, public void say hello string name, and I write here system dot out dot println hello, and then I say name. Okay, this is my function. Now if I try to run this function, this class demo.java, it will not run because there is no main function, there is no entry point for it. Let us try this on the command line. Now we have this project properties. cdv and cd bin. Now you can see we have demo.class and first Java project.class. Now I try to run Java demo. Now what it says, error, main method not found in class demo. Please define the main method as public static void main. Now what? Should I define main method for all the classes? I have main method in my main class, that is first Java project. I can run that Java first Java project, and it there is a problem that I am not passing the arguments. If I pass argument 0, 1, 2, whatever, it gives your name is 0, your age is 1, your country is 2. Okay, so that first Java project program is working perfectly. Now I want to say hello. Now, how can I say hello? I have to call that demo class here. Demo D. I have created a variable name of D. New demo without something into it, and then call D dot say hello, and will pass args 0, argument 0. So now if I write here, if I run here Java first Java project and say Mukesh, it says hello Mukesh. Mukesh, getting me?
Yeah, I mean, program executed and it's saying hello, Mukesh.
Hello Mukesh.
Yes, I can see.
So what you are seeing that my demo.java project program basically doesn't have a main method
So we call this in first Java
project,
first Java,
right?
yeah.
So in when we create a web application, so sometimes you might have heard we have controller, we have view, we have MVC kind of architecture. You might have heard, right? Model view controller. So there the controller is something which controls the movement and sends the request to desired location. Similarly, here in the desktop application, main function is the function which is responsible to send the request or send the control to different classes so that they can perform their business logic, they can perform their operations and provide you the output. They do not need main function. They do not need to have a controller inside there. They do not have an access point because their access point is their object. When you create their object, with the object you can call their accessible methods. If you create a private method of here, say private, you will find an error here that d dot say hello, because the private functions cannot be accessible with the object d dot say. See, there's no say hello method. There's no say hello method.
Okay.
If I create it public again, it doesn't have any problem. D dot, say hello method has come. Got it?
Yeah. Say hello, string name. Okay.
Okay. So whatever the structure is, it shows that, okay, what you need to pass into that particular function. So I just shown this for a demonstration purpose. Now, the main function as I'm talking about, the main is the main entry point with some arguments into it. Whatever the arguments you pass from the command line, those are passed into the program. Now, sometimes what you want to do is you want to perform some operation from the command line. Now, what those operations are, I want to do some maths. What that maths is, I want to do a sum of, let's say, I create another program and do some operation. Class addition main. I have created a public static void main, and what I want to do is I want to create a variable int a I want to create a variable int b, and I want to print the result of this summation.
A plus
System.out.
B.
Sum is equals to a plus b. Okay, but I am going to concatenate it. So concatenation makes, I'll show you the difference of it. First of all, let me initialize these variables. I'm not taking the argument right now. I am initializing it with some values first, and then we'll talk about the arguments 10 and 15. Okay, so when I run this program, what is happening? Okay,
Sum equal to
it
30.
says sum is equals to 25, right? But if I remove this bracket, this curly bracket, what will happen? Sum is equals to 10, 15. Why?
Okay. So this is simply uh, system assuming this is a I mean hard coded kind of thing. 10, 15.
So how
Not doing any operations in this.
yes, what happens, in here, that when you do this kind of see, this is a general mistake. People think that when I add a plus b, then a plus b will give me the result. But what happens? A plus b is not first added. It is left hand to right hand. So this is being added first. Sum is equals to 10. That is added. And then on that string, because sum is equals to 10 is a string now. And then you are adding 15 to that string. Okay, so it is something like that. The structure is getting created like this. Sum is equals to 10, and then it becomes 10 plus 15. So it is going to be sum is equals to 10 and 15.
Yes.
Okay, so first it adds sum and a, concatenates. Basically it concatenates, it doesn't add, it concatenates, because everything you will add with a string is getting concatenated. So operator moves up from left to right. So first it reads the string, and then it reads the numeric literal. So the string and numeric literal addition is getting concatenated rather than summation, and then it forms a new string, that is sum is equals to 10, and then with that particular string, another new numeric literal is being concatenated with the string literal. So it creates sum is equals to 10, 15. So this is a very, very general mistake which people do. So we can do it something like this. Delete. Okay, and it gives you the actual result. Sum is equals to 25.
25, yeah.
Now, what I want is, I do not want to make it fixed value. I might have different calculations at different point of time. So why should I open my program every time, go some into it, add some value into it, and then run the program? It is better to have a calculation on the calculator than that. So for that, we can pass those values from the arguments. Okay. So if I say I am passing args 0 and args 1, what happens here? Oh buddy, there's a problem. What the problem is? The problem is a string argument can never be assigned to a numeric value variable, even though you are passing numeric from the command line, let's say, if you, even though you are passing some numeric value from the command line, it is still 0, 1, 2. This treats it as a string because it is being, string is receiving those. So what we have to do? Anyhow, we need to convert that to integer type, numeric type, so
Numeric
that
type. Yeah.
so that it can be assigned to that numeric variable. So for that, we have a class integer. Okay. And with the help of that integer class, we have a static method inside that integer class called parse int. And you pass your string argument inside that. Integer dot parse int. Now this error has gone, right?
So this is a converter,
This is, yes, this is
character
a,
to numeric.
yes.
Okay.
But you need to ensure that the value which is being passed is of numeric type. That means it should be a number, it should not be a name. If you pass a name, it gives you an error. It because in that type, in that case, integer.parseInt will try to convert Mukesh, name Mukesh, into a numeric value, and that cannot be possible. Whereas 10, if we are passing 10, then integer.parse understands it and converts it into a numeric value. But if you pass Mukesh, it won't be. So it gives you an error. Okay. So now in this case, if I run here, what will happen? This program will give you an exception. What exception? Array index out of bounds, because we haven't passed anything into it.
We need to pass argument.
Yes, we need to pass arguments from the arguments here. Right. Let's say I have passed 5 and 8. Apply and run.
So simply a space will understand that
Yes.
one argument is I'm argument 0, then 1.
Yes, it is already a understood by the implementation of Java that whatever you pass from the command line is being separated by a space. So I can understand.
Yeah. So can we I mean put comma? It is acceptable.
No, nothing. You have to simply say it with a space.
Space. Okay.
So see here, addition.class. So every time you run your program, you can pass your values 5, 9. That's fine. You pass 15, 26, 41.
With a space. Yeah.
With a space. 8, 7.
So
this is kind of a dynamic, right?
Yeah. So we can pass multiple spaces as well. 5 space.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
See. You know? Got it?
Yeah.
You can pass any number of spaces in between. It takes it as 2 argument. After the space, if there is a value, it removes all those space from in between and takes the second value as a second argument. The third value is the third argument. Right. And if you pass 8 and M, will it be able to?
No,
now it says
now this
number format exception for input string M, that I cannot able to parse it into a number format. Okay.
So what does parse means? I mean, for converting numeric to...
In simple term, if we talk about parse does what? Parse is parsing, converting some form to another form. Okay. In simple English language, if we talk. So that simple English language has been associated with a class named integer. That means with the help of this parse function of integer class, you can convert a string numeric value, a string number into a numeric number. String number
Okay.
means, yeah.
And similar way, I mean, we can convert number to character or a string type. Like,
Yes, string to string, you can convert it.
okay. And for that, we need to same use like uh, parse
No,
string.
you don't need to do anything.
Okay, okay,
You don't need to do anything. See, if you are passing a string from here, it's simply being taken into here. Let's say, for example, you have to convert some number to string. So what you do is just put a space and plus add. So this number is being converted into string. That's all.
Oh, wow. Hey, it's quick.
Right? See, I'll show
Yeah.
you that. I am having a string variable str is equals to a. It's what it says. Type mismatch cannot convert from into string. So what I do is I will simply add that with space and it accepts it. Okay, so this simply concatenates empty space with a. That's all.
Okay.
There are other ways also, but I am just telling you the easiest way as of now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. This session is not being recorded as I have been terminated in between. My enrollment has been terminated in between. So,
However, I can see recording button is appearing in, so not sure.
but it is not. I cannot record that
Okay,
because
okay.
it
No,
was
it's
terminated. So again, uh, Minds Mover has become like Anchal has become the host.
okay.
So actually, this is not a regular session. So it's okay if it is not being recorded. I'm just giving you a fundamental things. This is again we will be covering when others will join. Okay, so it will be a repetitive step for you, but not in that depth as we are discussing with you.
I know it's okay. I like repeating
Okay,
repeated things. This will I mean, we will get more clarified
right.
again and again.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So as I have added A and B and directly set it to system.out.println, I can have another option. I can add it to another variable. And C is equals to A plus B. Now, in that case, if I say sum is equals to plus C, so I do not need to worry of the mistake A plus B. I can simply add C here, the calculated result rather than A plus B. So it is always better that you perform some operation, store it into the relevant variable type, and then print that variable, rather than do an operation within uh, here, like in this particular context. Okay.
Yeah, because we have already defined a variable C
Uh-huh.
is equal to A plus B, and we are simply passing this to
Yes.
print line.
Right. So here, if we are saying 8 plus 7, it says sum is equals to 50. Same operation, same thing. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about first Java project. We were talking about addition main. Similarly, we can create n number of classes with main function. But if I want to create a class with having all the operations with the two values which I am passing in, so what I should do, I can have different methods here. I can have different methods here. I can pass different methods, like say private, static, void, private static, int, integer return type with addition, add of int a comma int b. Then I say return a plus b. Similarly, I can have another function. I can have another function. I can have another function. So add, this is going to be subtract, this is going to be divide, this is going to be multiply.
Multiplication, yeah.
Okay, and every time this is subtraction, this is division, this is multiplication. And here I'll parse these into two variable. A is equals to integer dot parse int args 0 arg1 int arg2 is equals to integer dot parse int arg1. Okay, and then I'm having sysout methods. Sysout, system out, summation, sum is equals to, can simply call the method name, add with the values a comma arg1 comma arg2. Sysout, subtract,
Yeah, subtract
is equals to sub with the arguments, sub with the arguments arg1 comma arg2,
2.
and similarly for others as well, right?
Division, multiplication.
Div and multiply, and here we have div, we have
Mul.
mul. These are the different functions which we have, right? Now I am trying to run this from the command line. As we can pass different arguments from the command line, so I am using command line 8 by 8 2. Okay, addition main, not addition main, it's first Java project, and we can have 8 and 2. So you see, sum is equals to 10, subtraction is equals to 6, division is equals to 4, and multiplication is equals to 16. Okay, so what we did here is we have created multiple functions for multiple operations, different operations, like say addition for addition, subtraction for subtraction, multiplication for multiplication, and division for division. So there is
one quick question. So instead of putting private, can we put it as a public in all the program?
Yes, we can. But what is the use of public here? What will be the use of public here?
No, just trying to understand. Can we define it as a public?
Yes, we can define it as a public. But I do not want these methods to be accessible out of my class. I want that within my class, these functions should be accessible and perform some operations. And whatever the result should be displayed outside.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. You want to perform some operations. You want to hide how the operation is being done and who is
Yeah.
doing the operation. You are simply passing the value, and you do not want the user to know that there is an add function or there is a multiplication function or there is a subtraction function or something like that. He just want his operation to be done, so you simply pass him the main method and asks him, pass your arguments, I'll perform anything for you, I'll perform these operations for you, without letting you know that which of my functions are performing for you.
Okay. And we already defined first Java project as a public. So we simply calling this class.
Right.
Uh, okay. Okay.
Right. And this is first level of security, basically, that you want to secure your method, your operation, that how the operation and who is performing the operation. You do not want to expose it to other developers. Then you can make it private. Got it?
Yeah. Yep.
And why static? Private static. Now the static is because you are calling it within a static block. The main function is also static. If I will remove static, what will happen? You see just here. If I remove static, it start giving you an error. What error it says? It says change add function to static cannot make a static reference to the non-static method. That means add function is a non-static method and we are calling it into a static block. What happens with the static and non-static? I'll come that into full detail, but I am telling you uh, a fundamental basic concept right now, that static thing is loaded with the class loading. Whatever the static methods, static variables, those are loaded when the class is loaded in the memory. So they are available from the beginning to the end of the JVM. Whereas when we create a non-static thing, those are created on the basis of object creation, that whenever an object of the class will be created, those will get memory, and as soon as the object terminates, those things will be lost. Getting my
Okay.
point?
Yeah. So we need to put a static here.
Yes. And if we want to access that, we in this way only, then we have to create an object of first Java project. I'll create an object of first Java project. F project is equals to new first Java project, and then I'll call that with the F project dot add. Now this is object accessibility, that whenever the static main function will be loaded, accessed, an object of first Java project class will be created in memory, and with that object you will have a method loaded into the memory, that is add method. All other methods, sub, div, multiply, are loaded with the class loading, whereas add method will be loaded only after the object has been created. And as soon as after this operation, there is no further operation of the first Java project F project variable, so this will be automatically garbage collected and will be destroyed. So immediately after this F project object is eligible for garbage collection, and as soon as it will be garbage collector, add method will be lost, whereas these methods will be available till your program is executing. Got it?
Yes.
So I know that this is going beyond what we have to think of, but this is good thing to know at this particular stage. And whenever this will come on a regular basis for you, you will be on upper hand in comparison to others.
Yeah, that's right. I know.
So static and non-static things will need to be understood properly. What static means and what non-static means. Static means once it is created, it remains in the existence till your JVM exists. That means for each Java program, a JVM new instance is being created. So JVM instance is being created, and if that JVM instance lasts for 5 minutes, then whenever your class is loaded, that static members of the class will be loaded till the JVM terminates. But if there are object related methods exist or object related variables exist, then those will be existing only at the time of object is being created, and then once the object is nullified, it goes lost. Even though the JVM lasts for another half an hour or 1 hour, if the life of an object is for 1 minute or 10 seconds or 15 seconds, that will be terminated after that particular time interval. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So I believe we have covered the basic program properly, and from here we can move on to further things from next session. I'll try to manage my things properly so that it won't create further problem for you. Right?
Yes, it's okay. And next class on next
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, same
Saturday.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the time I will keep practicing.
Definitely, you should. You should.
Yes.
And you
yeah,
know,
then I'll have,
whenever you sit for the class, you don't take your laptop basically. Just keep laptop aside for the connection of into this meeting. Just see whatever I am teaching in that, and at the same time use a copy pen.
yes.
Write these programs with your hand rather than on the computer. Once you write these programs with your hand, dry run it, manual run it, that on this particular step I need to get this value, on this particular step I need to get this value. Is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? And then at the final step you will get this value. Okay, once you are done, when you're satisfied with your copy pen, then type that into computer and try to execute it. You will find minimum errors.
Yeah, yeah. Very very true.
Because in my life, you know, I have initially when I started my Java programming or even programming courses, there were very less accessibility of computers. There were very less accessibility of laptops, or laptops even uh, were very less. Even I didn't had a computer. So when something was taught to us, the computer lab in the computer lab on one particular computer, there were four students were sitting. So it was very hard to get a computer for only 15 minutes. So what we were doing is we were writing the code in the copy pen, practicing it, trying to figure it out. And then once we were writing onto the computer, on the first run, it was executing.
Yeah.
And that has made us confident on writing the program. Okay, so it's in similar way, you see the time has changed although, but the pattern is not.
Yeah, and this is applicable for every programming language.
Every programming language.
Yeah. So first we need to practice. I mean, hands-on practice. Then should go to computer.
Yes, and you cannot do everything in the copy pen. I can understand that, but for the basic programs, like these are the very basic programs. For the basic programs, if you practice on the copy pen, you can understand the basic architecture, but basic design, basic syntaxes, common mistakes. You will come out of all those things, and then you can use the standard model, standard coding pattern. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Mukesh. That's all for now from my side. If you have anything still want to know, just let me know.
Yeah. So I'll do practice and we'll have more questions for next session.
Okay, what I do is I will expect practice on your notebook, and I want to see what the mistakes you have done while writing the code on computer and in the note.
Yeah. At least I should give a try for these 4 functions: sum, division,
Definitely.
and
Definitely.
then I will have more questions definitely.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll meet on next Saturday.
Thank you. Yeah.
Fine, thanks.